All right, so picture this. You're on a live aboard, all set for a week of amazing diving,
Sun, crystal clear water.
Yeah, the Red Sea, some of the most incredible reefs on Earth. Maybe you'll even get lucky and spot a whale shark.
Right.
Paradise, you think.
What was that?
Disaster strikes.
Yeah, you're home, away from home. The boat you're on the sea story starts taking on water and sinks.
It's that nightmare scenario that every diver dreads. And sadly, it became all too real for the passengers and crew of that boat, the Sea Story.
Just this past Monday off the coast of Egypt.
Yeah, it's a stark reminder.
For sure.
That even in paradise, things can go wrong very, very quickly.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take a deep dive into this incident, what happened, why, and what it means for tourism in the region.
Right, because there's a lot to unpack here, beyond just the basic timeline.
Absolutely. So let's start with the boat itself. The Sea Story was brand spanking new. I mean, just built last year, a 4-deck, wooden-hulled motor yacht.
You wouldn't exactly call it a rickety death trap, right?
Not at all. It's this contrast between a new boat, and this tragic sinking that really makes you stop and think, what could have gone so wrong?
Yeah, and we're not talking about just a handful of people here. There were 31 tourists on board from all over the globe, plus a crew of 14.
All there for a week of diving and exploration.
Exactly. And so far, 28 people have been rescued, some by helicopter. But as of right now, 17 are still missing.
It's a stark reminder of the human cost of these incidents. Behind every missing person, there's a whole network of family and friends just waiting desperately for any news.
Absolutely. So let's try and reconstruct the events.
Yeah.
The Sea Story set sail from Porto Caleb on Sunday, headed for Hurghada. And then early Monday morning, a distress call went out.
Search and rescue operations are still underway.
Yeah.
But details about the sinking itself remain really scarce at this point.
Yeah, and we haven't heard much from the Operator Dive Pro live board.
Right, that kind of silence is standard in these situations. But here's something to consider just a few days before the incident. The Egyptian Meteorological Authority issued a warning about rough seas and high waves.
Oh, wow.
And that raises some key questions.
For sure. Like, how do dive operators typically respond to those kinds of warnings?
Right. Are there protocols? Are they supposed to postpone trips?
Yeah, this incident makes you think about what kind of due diligence do you do before booking a trip like this?
Exactly.
So we've got rough seas, we've got a brand new boat, and we haven't heard anything about a distress beacon signal. Could the operator have been pushing the limits?
Well, that's what investigators are going to be trying to figure out.
Yeah.
But it raises a question for all of us, as divers, as travelers. How much risk are we really willing to accept?
Yeah. Do we research the safety records? Do we check weather forecasts?
Exactly. I mean, this could be a wake-up call for all of us.
And this isn't an isolated incident either. I mean, we know that some tourist companies had already been scaling back operations in the Red Sea due to regional conflicts.
Right.
So how might this sinking further impact tourism in the area, both immediately and in the long term?
Well, it's definitely going to raise concerns about safety in the region. Travelers, especially those who are into diving, might hesitate to book trips to the Red Sea.
Right.
And that could have some pretty serious economic consequences for Egypt because tourism is a huge part of their economy.
It's a huge industry there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But this incident also forces us to confront a bigger question. How do we balance that desire to explore the world with the inherent risks that come with it?
Because let's face it, no matter how many precautions we take,
right, there's
always an element of risk when you're venturing out, especially with something like adventure tourism.
Exactly. And that's something for all of us listening to think about as well, How do you weigh those risks and rewards when you're planning your next adventure?
So we've got a devastating incident, potential factors involved from weather to the operator's choices, and this wider context of tourism and risk in a region like the Red Sea. Yeah. This is a really complex situation, and it raises a lot of questions that go beyond just this one tragic event.
It really prompts us to think critically about safety responsibility, our own personal comfort levels with risk when we decide to explore the world.
Yeah, some really important things to consider.
For sure.
Well, thank you for breaking all this down.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
And for all of you listening, stay safe out there, and until next time, happy diving.
Bye.
Bye.